All right, so let's examine which candy would win with plurality. Plurality only counts first choice votes. And in particular, we're going to want to know who wins the most first choice votes. The most wins. So what we need to do is, even though we've got this whole preference schedule that involves first choice, second choice, third choice, fourth choice, when we're talking about plurality, we really only are talking about what the first choice is. So we only really need to look at the very top of the preference schedule. Now, it's handy to have the preference schedule for the other voting methods, but for plurality, we just need those first choice votes. So let's take a look at how many votes each of these candies get. So we've got peanut butter cups, I'll start with, and let's count up their votes. They get 5 votes in the first column, and it'd be tempting to stop there, but look all the way across. There's 6 votes later on. So peanut butter cups gets 11 votes. Then we've got M&Ms. They get 7 votes and nothing else. Kit Kats get 8. And then Snickers gets 4. And then we've actually covered the entire class. We can count that up to make sure. 5 plus 7 voters plus 8 plus 6 plus 4. There were actually 30 kids voting in this election. 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 4 plus 6. So let's double check. 11 plus 7 is 18, plus 8 plus 4 gives us 30. So we had 30 votes altogether, and in this example, peanut butter cups won the most votes. So the winner with plurality would be peanut butter cups. Because it's just the most votes wins. Now, if a majority is required, then we need a runoff. So a runoff election would be held. And there are 2 common types of runoffs. There's a top 2 runoff that advances only the top 2 vote getters to a new tally, and all the first choice votes that went to other candidates are redistributed to the top 2 candidates. Since there are only 2 candidates in the new runoff tally, one candidate should get a majority. Occasionally you might have a tie, but it's very unlikely when you're looking at a huge number of people like there would be in a city. The other type of runoff is called instant runoff, and candidates with the least votes are eliminated one at a time, with their votes redistributed after each elimination. Eliminations continue until one candidate has a majority. Sometimes it only takes 1 elimination for someone to get a majority. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 eliminations for someone to get a majority. So in instant runoff, you can have multiple runoff tallies instead of just a single runoff tally, because you keep going until someone has a majority. Well, in our example here, with peanut butter cups, since there were 30 kids, to get a majority, we need over half. Half is 15, so you need more than 15 votes. Peanut butter cups only got 11, so peanut butter cups did not have a majority. So technically, you would want to, if you required a majority, go to a runoff. So let's examine a runoff next. Let's compare these 2 runoff methods with this example of candy and 3rd grade class. All right, so the first runoff method is top 2, and the second one is instant runoff. And with either one of them, we need to know the tally of first choice votes for all candidates. So a little reminder, peanut butter cups had 11. M&Ms had 7. Kit Kats had 8. And Snickers had 4. What we're going to do in top 2 runoff is we look at those totals and we say to ourselves, okay, we want to take the 2 candidates that were the top 2. So what I mean by top 2 is the 2 candidates who had the most votes. Peanut butter cups and Kit Kats were those voters that had the most, and we send those 2 I should say candidates that had the most votes, we send those two into a runoff. So Kit Kats and peanut butter cups go head to head. They keep their original votes because those were still the top choices for those 19 people. What we then do, though, is when we eliminate M&Ms and Snickers, we reapportion their votes. We redistribute them. So when we look at M&Ms, that came from this column. These 7 people liked M&Ms the best. Those 7 people, if M&Ms is not available, choose Kit Kats. Their second choice is Kit Kat. So because M&M's is out, they're going to switch their vote to Kit Kat. Next, we'll look at Snickers. Snickers is eliminated. Snickers votes, first place votes came from the last column. Those 4 people, if they can't have Snickers, their next choice is M&M's. Well, M&M's is also out, so their next choice is Kit Kats. So those 4 people would have chosen Kit Kats. So now it looks like we've got everyone. We've redistributed M&Ms and Snickers. Let's double check. If I add up Kit Kats, 8 plus 7 plus 4 is 19. 11 plus 19 is 30. And remember, we have 30 kids, so all kids have now voted, either with their first choice, second choice, or third choice. And the winner is the one who went over 50%. Remember, there's 30 kids, so 50% is more than 15. So Kit Kats has more than 15, so they are the winner of the top 2 runoff. So in a top 2 runoff, you just have a single runoff tally. Instant runoff's a little bit different. With instant runoff, you're going to not go down to the top 2 at the beginning. What you're going to do in instant runoff is you eliminate one candidate at a time. So we're first going to eliminate the candidate with the lowest votes, and that's Snickers. So if we eliminate Snickers first, that means peanut butter cups goes into a second battle with Kit Kats and M&Ms. Now, they already had the votes from before. Peanut butter cups had 11, Kit Kats had 8, M&Ms had 7. We really only need to redistribute M&Ms votes, or sorry, Snickers votes. And I'm anticipating here because when we look at Snickers votes, if these 4 people who voted for Snickers can't have Snickers, their next choice is M&Ms. So I was kind of thinking about M&Ms when I said M&Ms. Those 4 people are going to now vote for M&Ms, and that changes M&M's tally to 11. So now we have peanut butter cups at 11, Kit Kats at 8, M&Ms at 11. Still no one is above 15. And remember, the whole point of a runoff is to get to somebody above half of the votes, so above 50%. So if no one has over 50%, we eliminate another candidate. And again, it's the candidate that has the least votes. So of these 3, the least votes is Snickers. They get Kit Kats. They get eliminated next. Snickers was already eliminated, so we're going to eliminate Kit Kats next. So that means that peanut butter cups go head to head, forgot my B, with M&Ms. They keep their votes they already had, the 11 votes and 11, and now we need to redistribute Kit Kat's votes. So let's see where Kit Kat was. Kit Kat was here with 8 people. Those 8 votes came from this middle column. If those 8 people can't vote for Kit Kats, they would vote for M&Ms next. So those 8 people would choose to vote for M&Ms, and so that brings M&M's totals up to 19. Now, double check, 11 plus 19 is 30. All 30 kids have voted. But in this case, by eliminating one at a time, we get M&M's as the winner. So this is rather interesting. The 2 runoff methods, depending on which one is chosen ahead of time in an election, can result in different outcomes. Kit Kats won when we eliminated everybody but the top 2, but when we eliminated candidates one at a time, M&M's ended up going to the top. So the 2 runoff methods are similar but different. Sometimes they have the same results, sometimes they have different results.